Yo, what is good, everybody? It is KJ, and I am back, and this is the second week in a row, because I did have to play these games very close together, that I did not have audio. We will be back for week 6 with actual, live comm, but I have to do post-comm here. So, we are facing Razor Claw this week, and Razor has a really scary team. You can see the 6 mons that they ended up bringing. He did not actually bring the Iron Valiant, which was mind-boggling. Instead, there's an Electabuzz on my screen. So I really wish I could have given you guys the live comm for this, because I was freaking the hell out. But we're gonna go ahead and continue on. So my plan was always to lead with the Sneasler and try to get a Poison Touch on something, just pivot out. And we are Scarf, so I was kind of fearless in that regard, and I was hoping that I would see a Terra here on turn 1. So we do go for a U-turn. I was hoping I would see Terra Steel, but unfortunately we do not. We see him stay in, and we go into Blastoise, because that's our best switch into this, basically. And unfortunately, that's going to pop the eject button, which is going to put us in a weird spot, because Sneasler's back. But this time around, close combat will actually kill, so that's what I go for here. And I expect that we will see the Reuniclus come in, because that's his dedicated check to this, it seems like. And we do see the Reuniclus, and we'll see if we get the Poison Touch, whether or not he's Regenerator or Magic Guard. For this matchup, I assume he's going to be Magic Guard. So we do end up getting the Poison Touch, which is really nice, and we see that he does not take damage. He also does not show lefties, which is very important. Now, I should have went into Delphox here, 100%. But instead, I make the very obvious play to go into my Bisharp, and I lose my Bisharp, which is super rough, because Bisharp in this matchup looked fantastic. So I have to go back into Sneasler, and we U-turn on this. I was hoping that he wouldn't be that bulky, and this time I'm not going to make the same mistake. This time I'm going to go into my Delphox, and we're going to see that he's actually going to go for a Trick Room, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but also a couple of his mons are faster than mine outright, so it doesn't really matter all that much. And now here I decide, you know what, we're gonna go for a Flamethrower. In hindsight, I probably should have Calm Minded, but I also didn't know what kind of Empoleon this was gonna be, whether it was gonna be physical or special. I should have assumed special and went for a Calm Mind, because then I could have stayed in here and really started to try to break down this Empoleon without giving up my Blastoise, because he did have the Inteleon in the back, and I did have to make sure I was cognizant of that, right? So we end up going in our Blastoise here, and I end up flip turning out, and at this point I'm wishing that I brought something for this Empoleon, but my plan was always to switch Blastoise in, stop the flip turn, and then go into Thundy and be able to do massive damage. But you'll see I end up taking a ton of damage on both Thundy and Blastoise, which is not great, just to stall out Trick Room, which is really unfortunate, because that damage on Thundy I felt was really important. And now we're going to see that the Empoleon is faster than the Blastoise, which we knew because we went first in Trick Room, and we're going to lose our Blastoise. So that whole sequence was really rough, but now we get Baxin for free, and now we can DD, we live anything that he's going to do, and we'll be in a good spot, right? So I'm really excited about this. I know he's going to click Flash Cannon. I know it's going to do probably about 60-65%, which, yeah, it does a little bit more than that. Actually, it does closer to 70-75. But we get to kill this thing, which is really nice. And now we're going to see something come in. Something has to deal with a +1 Bax. We know that based on the damage earlier, that the Flygon is Specs. So this is what really just shocked me. So he's going to Terra, and I expected Terra Steel. So I was doing calcs with Terra Steel, and I'm like, dang, I can't kill this thing. Icicle Spear almost kills it. If I get 5 hits, I might kill it. But then we see Vacuum Wave. When the fuck did this Mon get Vacuum Wave? The Vacuum Wave distribution is too damn high. So we lose our backs because of that, and now we have to go back into Sneasler. So luckily enough, we can just click CC, and we're in a nice spot, right? So we click CC, we kill this thing, because this thing is a massive threat, so I'm glad it's gone. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, whatever comes in, I just want to keep clicking CC, I don't know. Like, I know I'm Scarf. If he doesn't have bulk in, like, the Inteleon, which is what comes out, then we're in a good spot. So we CC the Inteleon, and unfortunately, you're going to see that he is somewhat bulky. He does have some bulk, and he lives that. So that's unfortunate, and he does go for Reflect. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, he probably has some kind of priority, or he has, like, Snipe Shot or something like that. And so I'm just like, we're just going to keep clicking buttons, and this is my second massive screw up, right? So I screwed up in front of the Reuniclus before switching into it with Gambit. Now I screwed up here. So I was thinking, okay, you know, we just did that with CC, so we're going to do that again and kill it. No, he had other plans. He was cussed at Berry. And that is going to be a massive loss for us because Sneasler was still really good here. Like, Scarf Sneasler cleaned up the endgame if we would have kept it around. So now I have to try to make things up with Delphox, and the only way I can really do that is to just set up on this, right? So I've seen Trick Room, I've seen Psychic, and I've seen Focus Blast. So I know three of those moves can't really touch us, right? And I'm guessing the last move is like Recover or something like that. Like, I was thinking the last move was Recover. Like I said, we've seen Psychic, we've seen Focus Blast, we've seen Trick Room, and I see that he clicked Psychic, so I'm like, huh, maybe he doesn't have anything to hit Delphox. So I decide to sub, and I decide to set up. And now, this was my last, like, massive misplay, right? Like, I think my problem here was, like, I was just playing really safe. If I would have went into this earlier, I think I would have been in a really good spot, and we could have just kind of kept going. But yeah, so we're gonna see. I click Calm Mind again. So now I should have been running calcs to make sure that anything that could come in to break Delphox's sub, I would be able to OHKO. So that way, if I'm trading my sub for that, it would work, right? But I did not do that. So here, we're going to see, like, I do end up going for a sub again, which is good because I want to make sure, like, I know that this Reuniclus cannot break our sub. And I should have kept Calm Minding after that. Like, I should have subbed, and then I should have just kept Calm Minding. And honestly, I should have just got to +6 and then went from there. Like, that's really what I should have done. But I didn't. And that was foolish of me. Like, I don't know if it cost me the game necessarily, because honestly, like, I was in such a bad spot here. Like, if he has any offensive moves on Inteleon, we'd be in a rough spot. And he still has 2 physical mons that outspeed Delphox. So I was kind of worried in that regard. But yeah, so we're going to see. I do get the kill on the Reuniclus there. And then we are actually back up to a pretty decent amount of health. And like I said, I should have been continuing to click Calm Mind because now the Electabuzz comes in. And now, if I had Calm Minded one more time, but probably, like, even at worst 2 more times, I could OHKO this and trade for my my substitute, right? So we see that. We see the Supercell Slam come out, and we're gonna go for a Flamethrower. And we do like 75-ish%, like 75%. If that would have been an OHKO, we wouldn't have taken all this damage. And then I don't think we would have lived any other hits, but we could have lived a hit from the Inteleon, probably. Like, depending on its investment. I don't think it was very offensively invested because of the fact that it's a screen set and we saw the bulk it had. So Ogerpon comes in, and this is the most obvious Stomping Tantrum if I've ever seen it, but I wanted to stay in just in case he tried to kind of get into, like, do anything ridiculous and kind of get cute and try to Trailblaze or something like that. So we do see that he's Life Orb here, and now we have to go into our Thundurus. So my hope is that this Sludge Wave crits at this point. Like, that's the only way we win, right? We have to crit this Sludge Wave, and we don't crit the Sludge Wave, so unfortunately, you're gonna see Ivy Cudgel brings us down to 10 HP. And now, at this point, I'm just thinking, okay, well, if this Inteleon has any attacking moves, we lose, right? So we're going to see the Sludge Wave again, and we're going to take out the Ogerpon, which is great. But again, unless like we don't have T-Wave. If we had T-Wave, we could have went for a T-Wave and then tried to win that way. But yeah, unfortunately, you're going to see Inteleon come out, and I'm just hoping, I'm like, hey, if this Inteleon has no attacking moves, we win. If it has attacking moves, we lose. I don't assume anybody brings no attacking move Inteleon, even if it is screens. And so you do see the Ice Beam come out, and so we are going to lose this game 1-0, which is really unfortunate because I feel like we had a lot of opportunities to potentially win that game. And so one of the big things for me looking at that, like my biggest regrets, switching in the Bisharp on the Focus Blast was huge. That I gave away a Mon for free, right? The sequence with the, like in Trick Room with the Empoleon, I think I could have played that a bit better. I also think that the Custat Berry was kind of obvious, and I should have thought about that. Like, there was no reason for him, like, it was obvious that if he was just trying to sack off Reuniclus, he would have just sent it out before he sent out the Inteleon. But because he set up the screens, I should have known that this is some kind of setup, right? Like, I should have known that he knew that we weren't going to be able to kill with CC, and I should have just went into Delphox. Like, I tunnel visioned, and if I had that back, that's probably the one play I would have done differently, because I think that might win me the game. If I would have went into Delphox there instead of staying in with Sneasler, he would have wasted his Custat Berry. I would have been able to sub on the Reuniclus at that point, and I would have still had Thundy and Sneasler in the back. But hindsight is 2020, so it is what it is. That's all said. GG to Razor. This was a super fun match. I had such a blast facing Razor. I think this is the second time we played. I think we played when he was a replacement for another league back in the day. But yeah, GG to Razor. Please go check them out. Their channel is going to be in the description below. And yeah, we're going to be, I believe we are 2-3 plus 2. Either 2-3 plus 2 or 2-3 plus 1. So we do have positive differential, which is good, but we are 2-3. So we do have to win probably at least 2 of the next 3, maybe all 3 to get into playoffs. So we'll see what happens, but I am going to get out of here. I will catch y'all for the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.